Matthew chapter 14. You were close, Liz. I'll be right there with you. Just checking something. Okay. Now, verse 13. Matthew 14, verse 13. When Jesus heard of it, he departed there by ship into a desert place. Okay, remember like the other account in John. And when the people had heard thereof, they followed him on foot out of the cities. And Jesus went forth and saw a great multitude and was moved with compassion toward them, and he healed their sick. Now, John's account doesn't get so much into this part. But Jesus saw them, the great multitude, and he was moved with compassion. You know, we've talked about that before, that whenever you see compassion and Jesus together, you always see him moving. Right? Compassion is what fills our hearts, that bumps us to move. You know, it's like somebody on the edge of an airplane. Well, I know I should try it. I know I should do it, but I'm nervous. You've got a parachute on. You've practiced. You've jumped with somebody else. You know, I know, but I'm kind of nervous. You know what the best thing to do is? Pull the cord. Right? Right? That's what compassion does. Compassion kicks us and causes us to move. Because you can sit around all day and just say, wow, that person's got problems. Hey, that person over there's got problems. I wasn't pointing at you, Mike. That person over there's got problems. It's really bad. That's really bad. That's really sad. You're walking along. Oh, look at that guy. He's been beat up. He's half dead.
Is that true?
That's really bad. I hope it all works out for him. Right? That's called sympathy. Sympathy doesn't do anything. Sympathy just says, hey, I feel bad for you. Compassion says, I feel bad for you and I'm going to help you.
Yes.
Right? I'm going to get off my animal, put you on my animal. Right? And so, and then, verse 15, and when it was evening, his disciples came to him saying, this is a desert place, and the time is now past. Send the multitude away that they may go into the villages and buy themselves victuals or food. But Jesus said to them, they need not depart. You give them something to eat. Jesus is saying, okay, you've been with me. You saw what I've done. And this is Matthew chapter 14. Remember back in Matthew chapter 10, he'd already sent him out. Remember? And he said, go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out devils. Freely you have received, freely give. We have freely received from God. He's freely given us grace, mercy, teaching, counsel. He's put us in a church that has a hallmark of teaching. Now, you go and minister. It should not be year after year, I need to be ministered to. At what point do we say, hey, I'm going to do it? Jesus is saying, hey, you give them something to eat. You be part of the solution here. I've given you my spirit, my people. I've given you my spirit. You minister. You be moved with compassion and help these people. They're waiting for Jesus to do something. Now, God gives us the grace. He gives us the ability, the power, the calling, the commission. But there is a part that we play in it. We got to be a part of the solution. We got to start depositing into the kingdom. Right? Not just withdrawing. I mean, when you're a depositor in the kingdom, of course you're withdrawing. Of course you're being blessed. He daily loads us with benefits. It's your right as a child of God to say, to claim the promises of God. To have forgiveness of sin, to have healing, to have provision. That's part of your right in the kingdom, of your benefits, the benefit package. But just sit around and say, I'm enjoying my benefits. Oh, I could just stay here. I could go up into a mountain and then just me and Jesus. Just me and Jesus. Like, you know, those monks do. Right? Just me and Jesus. That's all I need. I've talked to some people, they say, all I need is, yeah, I don't go to church, but I pray. I know God. Oh, me and God, we're tight. Tight. Me and God. Yeah, what about you being part of the body? What about if you woke up in the morning and your big toe was over there in the drawer hiding? And said, I'm not going with you today. Hey, I'm okay here though. I'm okay here in this drawer. You say, no, big toe. So you're going with me. You're part of the body. I need you, big toe. And big toe, you need me. We need one another. If you go home and cut your big toe off and put it in the drawer, after a while, it's not going to be any use to you. Really quickly, actually. It's not going to be any use to you. The banana that leaves the bunch gets peeled. Right? You decide, it's me and Jesus are alone. I'm the Lone Ranger for Jesus. Well, that's not kingdom mentality. And you get these groups that say, hey, we got our little pet doctrines and we got our four walls, and if you don't believe the way we believe, exactly the way we believe, then you may not even be saved. I'm not even sure. If you don't do exactly what we say, then you won't be allowed to come to church. This is the only way to the kingdom is through our church. Boy, that's not kingdom. That's not what the kingdom's about. Okay. Now, you got people in there bringing cankerous teachings like the day of the Lord's already passed, and all those kind of things. They eat like a cancer. That's true. You need to deal with those kind of people. But what I'm saying is, you know, unless you have your hair parted on this side, you cannot be part of our church, and you won't make it to heaven probably. Now that might be oversimplifying it, but there's some churches out there that are pretty hard-streamed about some of their own doctrines, right? And Jesus warned about it. He said that, like the Pharisees who he quoted that verse from Isaiah chapter 29 to them. You draw near to me with your mouth, but your heart's far from me. Laying aside the commandments of God, the law of God, they teach as though they were gods, they teach the commandments of men. I mean, that's what they do. So, and then he says, verse 17, and they said unto him, we have here but 5 loaves and 2 fishes. And he said, bring them here to me. And then, of course, you know the miracle of feeding 5,000. So there, Philip kind of missed the point of it. Jesus was saying, Philip, you can be a part of feeding the 5,000 here. What are you going to do, Philip? Are you going to be a minister? Are you going to minister with the grace that God has given? You know, the Word talks about, let no man seek his own, but another's wealth. And by wealth there, he's not talking about cold hard cash. Talking about the blessing, not just thinking about yourself. See, and that's, you know, I was in psychology that was my major. Yeah, right, Lou. And Lou, it looks like you have a few problems. Come up here and lay down and tell me about it. Tell me when it all started. We might be here a while, right? But it was kind of almost the picture that I got from it was, it's very inward. It's about me. It's about my struggles. I was mistreated as a child. I was this. I was that. You know, I need help. You know what? Every family I've ever met's been dysfunctional. Amen. Join the club. I've never met a normal family.
A normal family.
Right? Well, besides my father-in-law and your father. Yeah, right. But what did you say? She was dropped on the doorstep? Is that what you said?
She got up and denied it. I just told her if she had been adopted.
Oh, no.